Probably give me some half-ass story about how 3/4 could buy a dollar worth of change, but if I did, then I shorted you. So a dollar and some change ain't really shit when you're loyal.
Nah,
Yo,
that shit ain't even play long enough for me, man. I need to hear that
I can run it
again.
back with some more in a second. I
You
can
know what I'm
run it back.
saying? Shit, you know they gonna flood in here.
That's a good question. So the answer is no, and here's why.
Probably give me some half-ass story about how 3/4 could buy a dollar worth of change, but if I did, then I shorted you. So a dollar and some change ain't really shit when you're loyal.
Yo, man. We back, man. Once again, man. The most consistent podcast out, man.
Man, you hear me? Lock us
Allegedly.
in at that, man. Ain't nobody more
Man.
consistent but inconsistent than us. You hear me?
Man, you hear me, man? Listen, man.
Man,
We
share
still
this
here.
live. Share this
Share
live.
the live,
Share
man.
this.
Make sure y'all share the live, man. Share it, share. Share
Today
the
we gonna be
live,
talking
man.
about conference of Berlin and how they stole Africa. Where that's all we're gonna be talking about. We ain't gonna really hurt y'all too much with the religion, so you can share this and not be uncomfortable. You can share this.
Yeah, your grandma could look at this one. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
we ain't
Your
gonna really
grandma could look
defund religion on this one.
she she ain't gonna be offended and shit and be like, damn, now they wanna undo everything that I done did. You know what I'm saying? So your granny will be happy about this, but we probably gonna talk about, what's going on in America and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But first and foremost, Cam, wanted to talk about the conference in Berlin, because I think what you said, some white dude pissed you off or something.
Yeah, you ain't hear about the baseball coach that said he was gonna kneel or wasn't even coming out for the anthem or something.
Oh, okay, and
And so,
they ain't
so
gonna,
I go to the comments. I do what I do. I'm a commenter. I'm a
right.
snooper. I got to know things. I already knew what I was gonna get. So I'm going to the comments. You got the white people that's mad saying, you got the white people that's mad saying shit like I respect this. I don't agree, but I respect it because that's what that's what makes our country so great and stuff like that. Or just saying stuff like, and you can get what I'm getting at. And so I
I'm
commented
already
on one
knowing.
dude, older white dude. He was like, I disagree, but that's what makes this country so great. So me being me, I'm like, great for white people. He like you can feel that way. Some, or you know what you can do. You know what they always say, you can leave,
You can leave,
but they
as if
won't
it's
leave
that
Africa
easy.
though. But they won't leave Africa though. We can leave and go back to Africa, but y'all won't leave Africa still. That's deep. Not you
Man,
want two spaces, not you occupying two.
man, and that's crazy. And you know what it really is though? It's really out of the ignorance of them, because they don't even know that America over there occupying it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they be so focused on what's going on right here that they don't even understand that, like, bro, you living in a system that was set up to make black people be in a position that they, you know what I'm talking about, that
Mm-hmm.
they in and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of people, black people, white people, they don't know what the Berlin Conference is and stuff. If you don't mind, for the people who may be just tuning in and not familiar what the Berlin Conference is, would you like to inform the people, what?
Yes, the Berlin Conference was in 1885 is when you had the European countries. I think it was 15 of them that decided they needed a plan because Africa got all the resources, everything you need. We got our phones, everything we need for these phones, these cars, everything that shit is in Africa. So the Europeans had discovered that a lot of the resources was in Africa. So they was finna go to war with each other about this shit. Like, oh, like we need this shit. So in order to prevent from going to war with each other, you had, I think it was the German, uh, one of the German leaders. He invited 15 countries out. The countries was, the United States was in there. You had Austria, Hungary, Belgium, Denmark, France, Germany, Great Britain, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, Russia, Spain, Sweden, Turkey, and the USA. And so this was a conference that took place about 6 months. And literally, this shit is just like you can imagine. You go in this room, like the board meeting. You got 15 dictators from around the world in here figuring out, and no black people was there. If I ain't say that, no Africans, nobody, no
No
black.
African countries at all. Even
And
though
so,
they was talking about Africa and dividing up Africa, it was
yeah,
no African countries invited at all.
and so you got this meeting where you got these 15 world leaders in there. So you see how you can see my background. That's a map of Africa on the wall. Like, you feel me? That's how you know it's about business. In the meeting room, they got the map of Africa where they so they can draw these lines. And up until this point, Africa wasn't divided up. They had tribes, but it was still all one continent. This is where you got Africa got its borders from. And they made these borders not even thinking about the historical landmarks or what was even going on in Africa. What they didn't even consider what the black people that was there had going on their land. They divided that shit up like, shit, I want this, I want this. This took 6 months of strategic planning on how to divide up Africa. And so as a result of that, you got to this day the countries in Africa that don't even control themselves. Like even the schools, like in Africa at the schools, they teach, like, say that this particular country in Africa is colonized by France. In the school systems, they teach French history and shit like that. They don't even teach African history, and the Africans speak French. Like, and then and so it was illegal at a point for Africans to even speak their native language. Once this colonization started, they made it illegal, which was an attempt to erase the history. And so if you can make it illegal for people to be caught speaking their native language and not our colonized language that we gave you, that's a crime. And so that took place years. And as a result of that, you got basically the countries in Africa are controlled by these white countries like USA, France, Sweden, Norway, all these places that I just named, Russia.
Yeah, that shit deep. And a lot of people don't even understand, like, people look at things like that, like, oh, well, that was so long ago, you know what I mean? That it don't really even have nothing to do with us. People was fucked up, they did fucked up things. But what they don't realize is that these things are what pushed us into being in the position that we in. Like, if these countries had never been colonized, we probably wouldn't even be American. We probably wouldn't even be African American. But it was because of, like, Europeans' interpretation of what they thought they were seeing. They thought that because they seen Africans, that they was more native, that they wasn't intelligent, or that they wasn't sophisticated, or that they wasn't uh, that they didn't have any type of understanding on what was going on according to Europeans' way of things, that these people was dumb. Like, they literally looked like, that's why they portrayed the image. Even if you look back, you could look at a Bugs Bunny cartoon, and when he would go to Africa, it would be a motherfucker in a skirt. You know what I'm talking about? Throwing motherfucking spears and shit. You know what I'm talking about? Because this is the interpretation of what they wanted children to grow up thinking,
And this
that
was
this was
post
Africa.
and this was post Atlantic slave trade. Like, this was after the slave trade.
Mm-hmm.
This was 1885. This was well after. This was
Well
once the
after that.
slave trade had dried up, literally dried up. And Don, what you said about we was already here, definitely was. I think that might be another episode though. That might be so much to dive into.
Definitely
We
was
was
already.
definitely probably everywhere because we was the first people
Yeah.
here. I think what's white people only about 3,000, 4,000 years old at most. When you put things in perspective.
I mean, I don't know, with like things like that, it's kind of like hard to, you know what I'm saying, to decipher, just because of, like, everybody, whenever they tell their story, it's gonna always make them look like, you know what I'm talking about, the good person, or make somebody look the bad person. I think it's more so along the lines of that, like, one thing that people fail to realize is that everything that is where it is right now is because who was able to stake claim on it. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't necessarily have to be from a place to own the motherfucker, to run it. And once you stake claim, you was able to control everything that was going on. Once you control, especially if you was in a financially position, you was able to control the language, you was able to control the culture, you was control everything that happened from that point forward. You was the one who decided on what these people was able to be, or what they was gonna be. And the reason that a lot of us are in the position that we in, like, Africa is a country that right now, like you have China trying to do the same thing that a motherfucker already did, like because China
Colonize it.
colonized because of all the resources that's there, like
The
cobalt,
poorest.
from diamonds to iron to
So you got the
copper
poorest countries in the
to
world that's in Africa, but we can live like this because they live like that.
because
And
they
so, and
live
then so
like
you
that.
have, so then you got the white people that be like, shit, they poor, like, you know, shit like that, but they don't even. Sometimes they just don't know, and sometimes they just don't want to know. I'm mad when they don't want to know.
And that's the sad thing, like because and I do understand it because people be so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life that a lot of times people don't have time to understand exactly what went on, where they come from, and all those types of things. So I do get it. People have lives, they got kids to take care of, they got jobs, they got to work and stuff. But all these things, the reason that we in the position that we in, the reason that we like everybody else in the world can trace their lineage back to where they come from. They can trace
Exactly
back to
where
their
they come
country where
from,
they come from.
to the
They can
street.
tell you, oh, this is I come from here. African Americans, like we the only people who can't. Some people are able to, but the vast majority of us, I'm gonna say about 75% of us, aren't able to
Even
do it,
if not higher.
if not higher, because there's gonna be a breakage in when your people them got here to America and then they was broken off into this place
And
and
we
that
ain't talking
place.
about your great grandma. We talking about going back maybe 6, 7 generations before that.
7 generations before that, and understanding that these people, like these people was already intelligent. Like African people had already discovered a lot of things that like people didn't even discover for at least hundreds of years
They had
after
already
them.
circumnavigated the globe already.
Already had made maps. Like originally when they made maps, they had
Invented
Africa at the top,
mathematics,
European was at the
medicine,
bottom.
mathematics.
So many things, and all these things are things that we take neglect for, and then we wonder why. Like, okay, a prime example, like we so concerned about whatever we told to be concerned about that we neglect things that we should be concerned about. Like prime example, how people, not saying that people shouldn't be concerned about those kids, my respects and condolences to the people, to the kids who lost their lives in Texas, as well as the people in Buffalo who lost their lives. Like we immediately stop even thinking about, like, you can't even name one person or even show me a picture of one person who was killed in Buffalo. You know what I mean? But I could go on several people pages and I see almost every kid that was, that was killed in Texas. And it's because the media, like we've normalized as blacks being killed don't really mean nothing.
And that shooting, that Buffalo massacre was within a month of last year of the other shooting at the church. It was within a
You talking
month of
about
last year. I don't know if that's
the Dylan dude?
yeah. I don't know if that's of any what they call a correlation.
I'm not sure. I hadn't even looked into anything to see if it
I'm
was and
telling you,
stuff.
it was within a month
Oh,
of last year. So what is this like you know what I mean? So I don't know what the correlation between that is.
right. Like I told you that they said that the dude who had killed the dude who in Buffalo, he had posted that he was about to go there, and he had posted it to 6 people. Like
In a group
inside a
chat.
little group, yeah, in a group chat, and that them 6 people on the investigation, and that they may be even charged because they didn't report these things. But I think, man, what really fucked me up so much, man, about the whole Berlin conference and everything, bro, is because that Africa is basically funding
The world.
everything that people have in the world. Everything. And
It's
people will look at us like we crazy and we don't know what we're talking about. People work hard and
look.
but
It's
everything that you have built, everything from concrete to from everything from the iron that you use to the
your
technology that you
cars.
use, all of this stuff comes from Africa because of the resources. Africa is still, even to this day, has an abundant source of resources. How do you have the most resources in the world come from one continent,
But
yet
it's the
this
poorest.
whole continent is the poorest, bro? Like it doesn't even make
It's
sense.
the reason why the France, you know how you hear about France got free healthcare and schooling and shit like that. Them European countries got free healthcare and schooling. That's because shit they taking billions of dollars from Africa a year. That's why they can be able to have free healthcare and free schooling over there. Is because they
somebody else
getting
got it.
billions of dollars from Africa.
Somebody else got to hold the burden.
And
Somebody
then
else got to.
I had seen a story where it was this one country over there. I can't remember the country, but they they had something in their country that was funded directly from something in this African country, right? And so the fund that they collected that was coming from Africa exceeded, and they had $2 million left over. Why did they host a town hall meeting to vote if they should keep the money or send the remaining money back to Africa? And they had a vote. Only one person in that meeting voted to send it back to Africa
because people don't care.
This was a money specifically for a project they had, and they had a meeting because it exceeded by $2 million or some crazy shit like that, and they didn't even want to send them scraps back.
And that's sick, man. Hey, man, for everybody, if you just tuning in, man, make sure y'all share the broadcast, share the live to your peoples and stuff, man. Get people in here. You know, we here for all type of any questions y'all have or anything that y'all want to say. You know, we definitely make sure that we put your comments on the screen and stuff, man. But make sure y'all share the live and give it to so other people could get in here and let them know that you know, the most consistent podcast, allegedly the podcast, man, that we out here in these streets,
man. If
discussing
you want to tap in
issues.
and you got something to say on the topic, or you know, just inbox me or Racine or anything like that, and we'll send you a link to tap in if you got something to add.
Don't inbox me, bro, because like the inbox, that's a dating network.
Oh
and,
man, just hit me,
you know,
man. I'm about business, man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm only on there to do dating.
I ain't even
shit,
seen this.
You know
I ain't even seen this.
My inbox ain't even for
somebody
for
said
me.
I ain't. Hold on, man. What's wrong with? You said yeah. Here go white supremacy. You see the comment? I'm gonna put it up here. I usually don't entertain this, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful when you start off like that.
And then he white, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like
what
you
the
see,
fuck?
and see,
Motherfuckers is weird. Like,
and
you
so
talking about you're
this
not
what
trying
you
to
got,
be disrespectful.
and this what you have when you have black people meeting trying to liberate. You have white people. It make white people so uncomfortable that they have to insert itself. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is what they do right here.
Like to try to take away from the whole thing that a motherfucker talking about.
Yeah, like this is he got what he wanted. He misdirected us from the Conference of Berlin and how the white people stole Africa, because this what he wanted right here. This what they do right here. We can't even meet. We can't. We ain't allowed to crash the KKK meetings. Like damn.
I don't even want that comment on my screen.
Like that's what I'm saying. See, this
people are so weird.
Like that's what I'm saying.
Man, don't nobody care if you white or if you black, whoever you are, you would have to be somebody white, because why would somebody black be coming to interrupt somebody talking about the liberation of black people and shit?
That's what I'm saying.
Getting people to understand things about, you could be Spanish, you know what I'm talking about? Even if you're Spanish, you still consider white. You will be somebody who assimilated into the power structure. You know what I'm talking about? And even if you black, then you somebody who assimilated into the power structure because
you an agent. You an agent regardless.
Yeah,
whether you white or black, you still part of white supremacy. So either way,
care. We're not even talking about gay people. We could care less. That's not even what the subject is about. Whatever somebody's sexual preference is, bro, that has zero to do with what the fuck we talking about, bro. We're not even talking about none of that shit. So for you to come in and insert your conversation for nothing, that's just weird.
That's
you know
white
what I'm saying?
supremacy,
like, you
bro.
Weird, you know. So you can feel how you want to feel, man.
But it worked.
I'm gonna get you
out
of here though. I'm gonna get you out of here though.
I would let him stay.
Nah, I ain't gonna let him stay.
Damn, you locked him
saying? Just because.
This ain't Billy Spears was blocked, y'all.
Man, you hear me? I don't play, man. I don't even like the whole, you know what I'm talking about, the whole vibe. Just, you know what I'm talking about? Like, that threw off totally our whole train of thought what we was talking about.
It worked. He won. You won, Billy. You did it. You win, Billy. You won. You won, Billy. You did it. I don't even know what we was talking about. Something about liberating black people, bro.
Yeah, definitely was talking about that. I think we was talking about how white people look at black people as Man, that shit was so weird, bro. That's why I
Man,
hate
he
YouTube.
won though. He
You
won.
know what
Look,
I'm
we
talking
forgot where we was at. He won.
anyways, man, back to the Buffalo shooting though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that, man, like a lot of people, like everybody is talking about, gun control. You know what I mean? Like everybody talking about how we need more. Man, everybody who tuning in, man, make sure y'all share the live and stuff, man. Make sure y'all share this with y'all peoples and stuff, man. We be sharing y'all stuff all the time and stuff, even if it's Cam posting your photos and shit. You know what I'm
That's
talking
what
about?
we was talking about. Yep. Yeah.
That's
So
what
it
we was
was
talking
only
about.
2 million. I mean, only 2 people. One person that voted to give the access money back to Africa. That just shows, like, even and part of the meeting was showing how this country was poor. Because part of the meeting was somebody who wanted to give it back, obviously, because with nobody who didn't want to give it back set up a meeting like that. So they had a town hall meeting. Somebody like, man, look how this country's living, like, Wuati Bam, our money coming directly from there. Do. You had one white lady raise her hand out the whole town hall meeting to send the access money back to Africa. And it kind of hurt, bro.
It had to hurt, bro. People don't even care about that they from Africa, bro, or that we from Africa. Even amongst the black people. You know what I'm saying? Like it fall
You know,
on
it ain't
deaf
no better
ears.
over here. It just feel like you free.
Man, I'm talking about, and it's like when you look at it, and like we be so comfortable, like, and then y'all be wondering why we be so hard on y'all about religion. Is because of the things that y'all accept versus the reality of things. Because if you look at the reality, like we look at our lives as, okay, we blessed. I got this job that I put an application in for today. You know what I'm saying? God blessed me with another one. Lost one job, got another one. Lord, look out for me. I'm his favorite. Yeah, it's people who don't even
Have
have
nothing.
running water, don't have electricity. Like somebody woke up this morning, had to travel miles
So that was
just to
selfish
go
of you
get
to think that
water.
God blessed you with a second job when there's people out here who live off $1 a
You
day.
got a job.
People live off $1 a day.
$1 a day, $2 a day, $3 a day. And we talking about how high gas prices is. Motherfuckers like, you got a car? You know what I'm talking about? Like, you got a car.
Not you got roads.
Man, you hear me, bro? Not you got somewhere to be. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it be so, we take all that shit for granted. And these be confirmations to us on how it's not a God, because what kind of God would you
Hey, we said we wasn't gonna do them like that, bro.
Man, I don't care.
Man, we said we wasn't gonna do it like that.
Man, listen, we're gonna bring it around and tie it all
Man,
together.
you done
'Cause it
made the
all go
viewers
together.
drop, bro.
Man,
You made
it
them
all go
leave.
together. It go there. You say just when Granny was on the show, he like, here you
Yeah,
go.
Granny was
You
like they
can't
was
never.
spitting. Hey, Granny just
Hey,
said we was spitting till you
hey,
did that.
hey, what a motherfucker say? You talk about God on Facebook more than your kids. As if that's what you're supposed to do with social media and not talk about social issues that deal with everybody and shit. You know what I'm talking about? But like I was saying though, man, like it's all tied in together, because who would want to worship a God that would bless you with a job or bless you with the ability to have gas money, but then turn around and not give somebody who looked just like you running water, lights, food, a job, you know what I'm saying? Roads, clothes, you know what I'm talking about? Like all these things. And people don't even think about it, because those aren't things that we see regularly. Those aren't things that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So people have no concern for the shit, But me personally, even though I may still not operate in concern of it, I still understand it. You know what I'm talking about? It further lets me know that it couldn't possibly be a God, because what kind of God would allow that? Like, it would go against everything that it teaches in those books, because I've studied them inside and outside. So
Bro, only white people should believe in God, because that's the one they made up. Even even if you is gonna believe in God, it can't be the one from the Bible. It can't be nothing from the Bible, because the white man wrote that for the white people.
I'm talking about after
Like
they wrote it,
they wrote it as a white Jesus and a white savior. So if you want to be, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Stole it and stole it,
and
bro.
really stole that story from black
Those
people
stories
and
from
rewrote
black
it and
people.
gave it to you.
But I think that's what people fail to realize, man, is one thing about it. Is like their stories mean so much to us that I don't think people really realize what I be saying. Like everybody watch TV. We love to watch an interview. We love to hear a song. All these are just people's interpretations of things. These are stories. You know, there was a time when there wasn't no TV, there wasn't no radio. The only form of entertainment that people had was writing. Like this is a form of entertainment. And these stories have been taken and are implemented as being true, even though they have no proof. The same way how I could watch a TV show and I could tell a motherfucker about Power and be mad that they ain't never seen Power, you know, the first season of Power, so you really don't understand the story. It'd be the same way about how people feel about religion. Like, you know, it's an assumption that the people who came before us are more intelligent, that they was right, that life was better then. But that goes against what you actually see. If you
Even though your
look at
cars
life,
get better every year,
man, if you look at life,
your
things get
phone get
better with
better every
time.
year.
So how would you go back and assume that people who had a primitive understanding of things, that these things would mean more, or these things would be more important than things now? Like people will have a better understanding of things. Like as you see the advances in time, like people see, like damn, oh damn, I didn't know that the same particles and the same things that make up stars are inside humans. People don't even be knowing that. If you tell somebody that, they probably gonna look at you like you crazy or you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Because they don't know nothing. We
hey,
be so misinformed because we be concerned about bullshit.
and then besides from that though, so did you know that white that you don't have to be white to be white?
I can see that. Like I was telling you earlier, even if the dude wasn't white, you know what I'm talking about? As long as you
No,
assimilate,
bro,
like,
listen to me, bro.
okay, go ahead.
This is real. So you got this one dude, this professor. He's from Egypt.
Mhm.
He's black from Egypt because his parents is from Africa, but
Right.
he's Egyptian.
Mm-hmm.
He came to America. They classify him as white. He went on this. He spent basically his career fighting that. Basically, that was his fight. He's black. That he's black. They classified this black man as white because he was from North Egypt. So technically, if you look up the definition of white, they have where you come from determines what make you white. So you got you. So the technical definition was like any nation of anybody of European
Mm-hmm.
descent, Asian. I think they said something like Asian, and then they said northern Africa, which is
Mm.
Egypt, right?
Right.
So technically, if you from northern Africa, uh, that you're white, and dude was black, and technically when he moved over here, they made him classify as white.
Hmm.
And he black. He
I,
looked like you.
I definitely could see that. You know what I'm saying?
And so
Because
that's when I
like at
learned
the
that
end of the
white
day,
wasn't a
like
color.
at the end of the day, because it's a classification. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as you know you have to classify motherfuckers as a certain thing. And then he probably he fit the criteria. He from overseas, like he gon' like it's crazy how people can come from these other countries, like not the poor countries, but come from a richer country. They like say they come from Saudi Arabia, or they get all these different loans, they get all these different accesses to money because they're going to assimilate into the power structure. Whereas black people who've been living here for generations can't even get reparations for the work that they ancestors put in all the labor for them for. Whereas you get other people who gonna be able to get some money because they family part of the oil dynasty, or you know what I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
this or they that. All these other countries have everything, bro, and it's just us, and we don't even care. You know what I'm talking about? Like we don't even care. We be so unconcerned about if we get these things or if we have any type of resources to be able to benefit ourselves. And that's the main thing. Like I think that we fail to realize that like we be so caught up in like especially like when a person younger, like caught up in the streets or being tough or being those things, that the only reason dudes be even having to hustle is because we don't be having access to money. We don't be having access to jobs, and on top of them pushing an agenda on us of not having those things. You know what I mean? Like every rap song damn near promotes selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, or doing them. And when I say it promotes it, even though it tells you about the good and the bad, the simple fact that it's telling you that this is a form of being able to reach finances in the first place is promoting it. You know what I mean? Like nobody has never won the drug game. Nobody has never won the street game. You got people like Young Thug and them right now. They did some shit almost probably 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like they finna suffer for that shit right now. Like them dudes
Case
finna
date
go to
back to
jail.
2013.
You know what I'm saying? Like they finna go to jail, man. Them dudes like not finna get out of jail for a
They was
long
letting them
time.
commit more crimes so they can give them more time.
So they could give them more time, bro. And it's so sad because
That's a
we don't
bar.
even
That's
see
a bar,
that.
bro.
That's a bar.
Is that a bar? Let them commit more crime and give them more time. I'm gonna work with that. I'm work with that.
You say you say you can do something with it.
I can do something with that. That was off the top too.
I just think it's sad, bro, because a lot of the shit we don't even see, bro. That if we was able to get, bro, if we was able to, like all the other countries would actuality be poor if Africa had never been raped how it was. And it only came about because of, I'm gonna say that the how Europeans was able to use the military type
Military is the main thing they use.
mindset that they had. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to say that, like, because I've read some things that
Like,
said that even the Chinese weren't the first ones to come up with gunpowder. You know what I'm talking about? Or using guns and stuff, that they had already developed that technology in Africa and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? But it was like I was listening. I don't remember what I was watching, but it was talking about that the majority of the Africans who actually was intelligent, like they had to run off into the middle of Africa, into the woods, into the tribes and stuff, because of how Europe was invading and, you know what I'm talking about, taking over the countries and shit. Like motherfuckers had to get away. You know what I'm saying? Or you was going to be trapped up in the slave or killed, or you know what I mean? Because anything that had any type of intelligence. But imagine somebody thinking you unintelligent just because we don't speak the same language. You know, imagine somebody thinking you unintelligent just because of the skin color. Like the white
because they
dude who
got the
killed people,
resources and we ain't just turned through it.
and we ain't tearing through it. And it shows you just how beautiful a place Africa is, for the simple fact that even after all those years, it still has an abundance of rich resources.
So
Yet
they'll tell you
its
to go
people,
back to Africa, but they won't leave Africa. And
but
when
they
I say
won't leave
they,
Africa.
and when I say they, if for the white people that do watch this, you don't have to be offended. When I'm saying this, I'm talking about white supremacy. So unless you white supremacy, you don't have to be offended. If you just here to learn.
How did they gain so much power so fast? I think, like I said, I think it was more so their military mindset. Like for somebody to say, you know, talking about like that, white people wasn't intelligent. Like to me, I think that would be foolish, because how did you take over the whole entire world? You know what I'm talking about, without some type of form of intelligence? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you had to they used their military power and strategy to be able to outmaneuver everybody. You know what I mean? They
And it
placed
wasn't so
themselves in,
fast. And it wasn't
yeah.
so
It
fast.
was over a period of time. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Like they were.
before the 1500s, it was black people running the world. You
It was
had the
black
black
people running.
rulers and kings and shit like that.
And then on top of that, what it was, like Europeans were so power hungry that they had to check themselves. You know what I mean? Because they was finna go to war with each other. When
Y'all
they
remember
teamed up,
Alexander the Great when they set off for the what was that, for world domination? You remember learning about that in school? That's what that was. That was the Europeans on the quest to conquer the world and take over
conquer the world.
take over as much land as they could. That's why they
Then
call
when
him
he died,
Alexander the Great, but he really wasn't Alexander the Great. It's Alexander the Master, Alexander the Killer, Alexander the
and
all that.
his son carried out everything that he did after that. And I think that, man, like these aren't even things that they teach you in school. You know, like they only teach you that, man, y'all
What
came
bruh
from
say?
Africa,
It was a white man highlight reel.
basically. You know what I'm talking about?
He ate.
ESPN. You know
He
what I'm
ate.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
ESPN.
They invented they invented top 10 plays of the week.
I ain't gonna say that the real oppressors are black. You know what I'm talking about? Like they definitely play a part in it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's very lucrative
We
for a
all
lot
do.
of
We
black
all do
leaders.
things that
You know what
aid
I'm
it.
talking about? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Like, so to point the finger, like I don't even like when I hate when people like, you know what I'm saying, try to point the finger or like say that black people like, because at the same time, like black people aren't in a position to oppress. They may assist and help these people, you know what I'm talking about, but they not even if they tried to change it, them people would just take them out and put somebody else there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like if the black leaders who were in these positions of these countries in Africa decided that, hey man, we're not finna take no more funding from China or no more funding from, then they gonna just go get rid of them. They gonna start a riot or start a coup.
Kill them.
You know what I'm talking about? To
Kill
get
them.
some other black people. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? It's the same thing that they did with uh with Gaddafi. You know what I'm talking about? Like in Libya, you know what I'm
They
saying?
kill all the
Like,
black
yeah.
liberation leaders.
Soon as you don't want to do what they want you to do, oh, okay, it's cool. Like we ain't gotta assassinate you because that's gonna be too obvious, and it may create unity amongst y'all. You know what I'm talking about? So we'll create division amongst y'all, so that way you will take you out. You know, so it's not just necessarily like uh to me that black people are the real oppressors. You know what I mean? Like I look at it like a lot of them definitely assist in it. You know, because they really don't even have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like they probably come from a long line of people who do it. You know what I mean? And that's
And
just
we
normal
all
to
in
them.
cruise
They not.
control.
We all live. It's man. I've done it. I've oppressed people. You know what I'm saying? Like I've placed myself in a position where I've oppressed people and wasn't able to let people do some things that they may have needed to do. You know, so I can't sit up here and act like I'm better than somebody and oh man, they the ones who wrong, you know. And then I ain't into blaming black people for some shit because a lot of the times black people don't even know,
It
like
all it
motherfuckers
all
don't even
root
be
back.
having the intelligence.
It all root back to white supremacy.
It all goes back to it. You know what I'm talking about? Like that's the root of it, you know. And it's just man, it's like even though a lot of us are learning more and understanding things, I don't think that it still would be another 100 to 200 years for people actually be able to really realize what's going on, you know?
Mm-hmm. You say all the way into 1493, we was on top of everything. Then the Pope Alexander issued a decree on behalf of Spain and Portugal that authorized the colonization of foreign lands in the name of Christianity. Man, you need to be on the podcast, but we need to have you in the what you want to be texting for? We need to have you in the bro. You feel me, bro? Boy, I like that how you wrote everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In the name of
Alexander.
Christianity. But see, people don't want to talk about that. And yeah, we know white supremacy don't mean white people though. We understand it's a system, you know what I'm talking about? Like because white people could, like I said, white people could be black people, they could be Spanish people, they could be Russian people, they could be Chinese people, all these different types of things. Like all the systems that's in place,
But
like
it's white
like I
supremacy.
be like
It's
like
all
I was
rooted
telling
on
I was telling
um,
Cam one day, I said everybody gotta play their part. You know what I'm talking about? Like you need people to be criminals because if you don't have criminals, then you don't have police, you don't have lawyers, you don't have judges, you don't have COs, you don't have POs, you don't have
it's all a
all these different,
business.
yeah, it's all these different types of things. Like everybody is playing a part. Like you literally need these things because if crime was to stop right now, there would be so many people out a job that it would start right back. You know what I'm saying? Like because these people would still have to find a way. Like everything ties into each
And
other. So
and bro
everything
talking about
has.
white supremacy don't mean white. I just told him the people at the Conference of Berlin was white.
Oh, they definitely always white.
It wasn't no black people there,
There
bro.
wasn't no black people there at all.
You might have been late, but we started at the conference of Berlin when we was talking about the meeting that had the 15 countries there deciding on how they was gonna divide up Africa, and it was all white people there, wasn't no black people. So that's what we talking about, where this white supremacy root back from, because that was the time when they started talking. That's about the time when we actually became black, the word black and shit like that.
Because that wasn't even
And it was
the
white.
color of a person. That was like, that's a 15th century term, you know, to describe somebody by that color. Most people would describe them by where they was from. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever
Even though we
country you
ain't
was
really
from, or
black, even though
what
they ain't white.
continent.
They
Right.
not white and we not black technically.
Technically, I definitely ain't black. I'm the same color as this coffee.
You more, we should call you brown if anything.
You can call me Racine.
Fuck,
You know
I'm
what I'm
just,
saying?
yeah.
Or Streets. You know what I'm saying? From
Yeah, that's like
Illinois.
bruh said, it's
You know
no
what I'm
such
saying?
thing. It's no such thing as black and white,
And
really.
black or white. Yeah,
It's all
not at
made
all.
up
You know what I'm talking
wordplay.
about? Yeah, they just, you know what I'm talking about? It's like, it's a classification, man. You have to classify people in order, like, if it's a system, like, man, a system, if I build a machine, right, and this machine works on cogs, if I take one of those cogs out, the machine isn't gonna rotate correctly. It's not gonna work
African
right. It's gonna
American ain't
break
even
down.
real. African American ain't even real. That's
Not
not
for
even
real.
that's not even real. That's not even a real fucking race, ethnicity, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's not even real.
Because then at the end of
Fuck
the
is an
day,
African American?
a lot of people might
If
not
black
even
people
have
was here
came
first
from
already,
Africa. Yeah. A lot of people might not, they probably was already here. You know, even if they came from Africa, they may have already, like, not, you know what I'm talking about? Like, when we say already here, meaning that not they came from Africa, meaning that they was already here in America, living, like born in America, like they was
yeah,
living in America.
but descended from Africa because all life started there. But that's what we mean by like already here, though. Like the Indians that you know as the Indians was black. It's just over time they got whitewashed.
Yeah, and so many things. I think, man, the main thing that, like, how you were saying, like, how we even got into
Shit,
the whole
Africa,
conversation.
the name Africa came from white people. Shit.
Everything. I mean, like, so many, like, they colonized everything. Like, you know, somehow, like, I mean, you have to understand that when you're in control, you could. That's just like how when we get on this show, we're able to decide, like, okay, we want this show to be called The Fun and Religion, allegedly the podcast. You know, we able to dictate what is what because we're in control. And regardless, even if those names, whatever they came from, like, it's not like we can take the name and change it back to what it originally was or what people originally called it. You know what I mean? Like, it's Africa now. You know what I mean? And that's the term that the majority of the world has referred to the continent as, you know what I'm saying, since it was changed to that. I think that a lot of times, like, too, that people could go overboard. You know what I mean? Like, when people get a little bit of intelligence on something, they'll fall into a lot of conspiracies and believe in just anything. You know what I mean? As long as it line up with what they already trying to believe. It's the same thing with Christianity. Like, you know, how people accept it and then follow it as long as it fall in line with what they need it to be. You know, it's how a motherfucker could be like, man, pray for me. I need prayers, you know, because that's a comfort to them, you know, that somebody may be praying for them or is worried about them. And that's all a prayer really is. You know what I mean? Like, it's a conversation with yourself to be concerned about somebody else's problems. You know what I mean? It's not no conversation with God. And the simple fact that Europeans use religion and use Christianity to take over the majority
I told you what they
of the
say in
world.
Africa. We had the resources. The Europeans showed up with the Bible. They blinked. They had the Bible. The Europeans had the land.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm talking about? And it's crazy because they still use it. You know what I mean? Like, they use it so much now that they suppress the people with the promise of a next life. You know what I mean? Of a promise of whatever you're going through, whatever you struggle with now, don't worry about it because God got a better place for you. And that's why, like, places where it's really, really low poverty, where the education level is really, really low, people believe people are more religious here than in those places than any other places. Whereas you go to a place like China, they technology and their advancement is far greater than ours, but they don't believe in a God. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
because they've already have an understanding of what things really are. You know what I mean? So are you gonna tell me that God blessed these people with more resources and more technological advancements than any other country in the world, and not us, and then not the people of Africa? You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day,
Because it
if people
helps.
don't if people don't realize that we are ultimately in charge of what happens to us, you know what I mean? And it was so for so many years we didn't think that or didn't know that. We assumed that other things were responsible for what was going to happen to us. When we in charge of our own destination, we in charge of what's going to happen to you. And we see this day in and day out, like from the decisions that people make. If I get up and I punch Cam in his face right now, like he might punch me back. You know what I'm saying?
That's all
Like
you got.
that's just a reality. There's nobody who could protect
You don't
that
hit
because
harder than
you
that.
know what I'm saying? Man, I definitely boy, listen.
Hate that.
You say that ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nobody who could protect him from that. And it's ultimately a decision that I decided to make, as well as if he decides to do something back, it's a decision that he make. It's not no God, it's not no beings behind it. And we be so lost in those things that we don't see that the reality that in order for us to make our lives really actually better is that we have to do it. You know, like I want to one of the things that I wanted to talk about um was that you know, like whenever it's all these violences with guns, you know, they always practice and preach, oh, we need better gun control, we need better gun control, we need better gun control. Like, why do people think that that actually means something? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know plenty of niggas who don't got no gun cards and they got guns. You know what I'm talking about? Like, the access to getting a gun is not gonna change because you change the gun law. When it's reality, it's the
Shit,
people.
drugs
You know what I'm
illegal
saying?
when people still get drugs.
Man, you know what I'm talking about? It's the people, bro. It's the mental understanding of things. Like, bro, there are people out here who are mentally unstable because anytime you can look at somebody and assume something about them simply based off the color of their skin is foolish. And this is why you had this dude, he felt like he was going to kill black people because black people was about to, you know, they're trying to take over the white race and out, you know what I'm talking
You
about?
know what they
Like,
be
bro,
saying? White people got this thing. They be like, one day it's gonna be illegal to be white in this country.
man, man, listen, bro. And it's sick, bro. It's sick. And it's the same thing though, like, because like one of the things that I don't get right is that how like one of the things that I've learned lately is the understanding of how like
The irony.
we think is
No, that's what bro
how
said.
uh is how unliving each other is normal. You know what I'm talking about? Like we think, man, I'm talking like I'm typing on Facebook. Not on what
I said unlimited. Fuck.
hey,
He
not I don't
ducking
want to get my
Facebook jail on
not I don't want to get
live.
my not I don't want to get my page
Fuck.
to you know what
Hey,
I'm talking about,
oh
but
wow. Now he bleeping out his cuss words.
hey, you hear me? But listen, man,
Wow.
we think that killing
You
each
ran that
other.
by me, bro.
Hey, I almost
He
ran it by
said
myself. I had to
unlimited. He
catch
thought he was
myself.
typing a
You hear me?
post.
You know what I'm saying? I think that, man, how we think that unliving. I mean, damn, I was gonna say it again. Killing people
Look,
is
Mark got
normal,
you
bro.
conditioned. That's how Mark got you conditioned.
Man, that's crazy, bro. You hear me, buddy? Say what's on my mind, and I can't even really say what's on my mind.
Man,
But we
within the
think killing is
parameters.
normal, bro. And we it comes from religion. You know what I'm talking about? Like millions upon millions of people have been killed in the name of religion, from Christianity to Islam to Judaism. You know what I'm talking about? To all many different types of religions have always justified killing each other and killing people by in the name of God, and people accept that, along with wars anybody who dies in a war, you're a casualty of war. That's just what happened when wars happen. But it's so normalized that now when we see people, a person gets bullied at school, his solution to stop that is to kill people. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the way somebody look. I don't like the color of somebody's skin. That person's solution is to kill people. I don't like what blocked this nigga from. His solution is to kill people. Oh man, that nigga, what that nigga say? Oh, that nigga trying to fuck my bitch. I'ma kill him. You know what I'm talking about? I didn't like what that nigga said on social media. I'ma kill him. Like these are things that we have normalized. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and it works
And
because
you know it's normalized because we don't do nothing to no other race like that. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure other races offend us. Like we at work letting the racist joke slide, all that type of shit. But if it was a black person, you'd be ready to kill him for a quarter of that.
for a quarter of that. And it's so sad because like
At work letting the racist joke slide.
Because you need your job. You know what I'm talking about? You know, or because I mean, but and at the same time, some people don't let it slide. Some people will go to what I'm saying, to human resources and try to get the situation dealt with. But I think that in our mindsets that like the streets be in the streets. You know what I mean? Like that to solve a problem, to kill him as even being an option has what has corrupted us more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this comes from either white people, black people, whatever color you may be. All these things factor in, like, and to me, I look at it as okay. I see what they're doing as a form of control because you have population control by it. You know what I mean? Like, if I get these black people to continue to kill themselves, then I don't really never have to worry about them overtaking being the more popular race because we didn't plan on them even being nothing but servants here in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So once we got past them being servants, damn, now we got to figure out what to do with them. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, whoa, hold on. Not they procreating at a fast rate. Let's get rid of the fathers. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get the fathers out of there so they can't procreate as fast. You know what I mean? Like, because imagine if all the millions of men who have been locked up over time never went to jail or was never in jail, African Americans or black people, whatever you want to call them, would have already surpassed white people. We would be the majority population. But because so many black people have been incarcerated and locked up behind these things, not to mention that on the other side, let's promote them being criminals as well. You know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you know what I'm talking about. Stricter gun law is going to affect black people even more, but I don't think it's going to affect anything at all in the first place because
everything is always considered. Black people always considered and everything.
That's just rhetoric. You know what I'm talking about? Like that's just how somebody going. That's just some shit somebody gonna use to try to get elected. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody gonna use tougher gun laws or being tougher on crime. You know what I'm saying? To exactly to keep you know what I'm talking about keep them fighting each other.
Because we see our Savior as white. We see the white Jesus and God is white. Whether we want to believe it or not, whether we ever thought about it or not, that's what the Bible and Christianity is about. The white Savior, and so we see the white Savior like, oh no, they look like the Savior. They can't be who oppressing us. So we want to kill each other.
They can't be, kill each other, and then promote it to them. You know what I'm talking about? That criminal
then it's promoted.
Lifestyle. Like
it's promoted.
Like it's on a subconscious level. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of times people don't even see it. Like that's why I told you. Like
you would be freestyling. You would be freestyling. I guarantee one of your bars is gonna be something about harming the black person. Whether you know it or not, one of your bars is gonna be like that, and that's the crazy part. Literally.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, all right. That's one of the things. Like why I told you that I stopped listening.
And he getting abducted. But yeah, that's how they promote the.
I had to turn I had some alarm on my phone. I had to turn off. I like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the things I told you I stopped listening to music because of how influential it is. And it's on a subconscious level. Like, I remember when I was a kid and they talked about subliminal messages. They don't talk about subliminal messages anymore because of how frequently they are used. You know what I mean? So, like, people, like, everybody think they different. Like, every individual, man, ain't nobody like me. I'm the realest nigga in it. You know what I'm saying?
And we all the
Like,
same.
and we all the same. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
And
we
and
all
and
influence the
because
same.
everything is different. Everything is at different areas. We all the same. We all alike in every area in a way that
Mhm.
makes sense.
And what make it so harmful is that, like, we don't even see it. You know what I mean? Because, and to me, it's, I think a person is more harmful to themselves when they say, man, that's a great point, only to go right back to doing the same thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that just baffles me. Like,
That's
man,
the conditioning, though.
once I realize something, I be like, man, you know what? I'm
I gotta
cool on
rethink
that.
what I thought. I rethink something every day.
Man, I have to unlearn something, bro, or I have to change my understanding because I could have been wrong. I have no problem with admitting when I'm wrong in
That's the
situations
difference.
because I know I'm gonna make
I
mistakes.
want to
Like,
correct it.
nobody is perfect, bro. My understanding could be wrong. Like, that's how I've come this furthest journey. Like, bro, like I tell you, bro, it's not no, like, we've had conversations and it's not even no religious scholars that could come talk to me about religion and me not being able to have the conversation with them. You know what I mean? But it's that journey alone that brought me to understand that, hold on, man, all this stuff it's not making sense, man. It's not making sense. And it's used in a form of control. They use all this shit against us, man. They harm us more than anything, man, by locking us up, by making us think that the streets and all these lifestyles is a way of life. Uh, they make the women want niggas who are like that. You know what I'm talking about? They make it acceptable. I remember, like, back in the days, like, probably, you know, I ain't gonna say back in the days, but back before I was born, people who participated in criminal lifestyles and all this type of thing, they probably was like, man, get them thugs, get them, don't come around here with that stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Now it's acceptable. You sell drugs, people don't, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Oh, all right, shit, nigga getting money. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. Like, the nigga
You
getting
just getting
money.
by.
Bruh, this nigga, I'm talking about, man, and nobody has won. Like, you literally don't know nobody
You
who has
went.
won in the drug game, bro. Like,
Mm-mm.
nobody has won. Every nigga I know who
You
ever
winning
sold
inside the
drugs,
realm that we in.
man, every nigga I know who sold drugs either locked up, got locked up,
You saying
or
nobody
finna get
retired?
locked up. Bruh, there's no retiring. Because, for one, you become addicted to the lifestyle. You know what I'm talking about? You become addicted to the fast money, the women, the you know what I'm talking about? Being your own boss, choosing your own hours, not having to never to work. You know what I'm talking about?
Not
Damn, let me go
independent
hit this,
contractor.
man. Go hit this little play. That's a couple $1,000, and somebody had to work 80 hours for a couple $1,000. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that's a whole 2-week check for some people, you know? And that alone will keep you from not being able to take that money and invest it and put it in something positive. Now, true enough, there are people who have won in the drug game and got out, but it's probably like about maybe 2% of the entire thing. You know what I mean? Like, and it's
Mm-hmm.
still promoted to us as a way of life, bro. Like, doing illegal shit, doing all kinds of shit. Like, it's promoted to us as a way of life because it's like, shit, we see everybody else doing it. So, like I said, as much as we think we different than each other, we all be the same. We all want to live a lavish lifestyle until we can't. It was fun while it lasted, and then we look up and a motherfucker be in jail or back broke or or dead. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and it's so sad, man, because I think that's one of the things. Like, we not gonna never be able to move forward until we actually realize that we ultimately are responsible for everything that happens to us. You know what I mean? Like, we don't
Mm-hmm.
even be seeing this shit, bro. We don't even see it because people don't want to. Like it's been a bad day today, man. Y'all pray for me. The devil working. You know what I'm talking about? Man, what are you talking about? Like, man, get yourself together. You know what I'm talking about? We don't address enough of the things that are mentally wrong with people,
We don't address
and
enough
we just
truth. We don't
we
address
just
enough
let it be.
reality.
And because we live in a fantasy world. And when I say we live in a fantasy world, it's because we under the impression that it's another life after this. You know what I mean? That we're gonna see our loved ones again. That life gonna be easier in the next life. You know what I mean? Like, and this fantasy that we live in allows us to accept a lot of the mental problems that
The bare
all
minimum.
kinds of people have. The bare minimum. You know, that's why we able to accept a white dude going in the grocery store and killing what 8-9 people that's black, like
Or
two
the
that was
freedom
white.
ice cream, the freedom slushies.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Like we able to
It's the
accept all
freedom for
those
me.
things, and
And then you
then
got a black
you
dude
got
arguing with us. That's
telling
what you
us
was
that,
finna
man,
say, huh?
y'all ain't never satisfied.
Yeah. Share at the
You
ice
know what I'm talking
cream.
about?
Share at the Walmart ice cream telling us y'all Negroes ain't never satisfied with nothing. Man,
Y'all
I'm
should
not
be glad that they
satisfied
doing something. If they
with the
didn't,
freedom slushies.
if they didn't do nothing, y'all wouldn't be happy, bro. They ain't been doing nothing, so how could I be unhappy about some
Symbols.
shit that they
No
ain't been
actions,
doing?
just symbols.
You know what I'm talking about?
Ain't
Like we
no
would rather
look,
see
bruh.
some real
Look,
accountability,
Racine.
bro.
Ain't did you like you can go to jail for calling an Asian a slur, a racial slur, part of the Asian hate bill.
Yeah, don't
But
say it on my podcast.
but
On my
because we don't
podcast,
have a hate bill, you
a
can't go to
motherfucker
jail
could
for
call you a
you can call us anything, and it ain't
you
against the law. Even though
you
we built
coon,
this country, it ain't against, but it's against the law to call an Asian a racial slur.
a racial slur, but I could call you a nigger, a nigga,
Anything, and it's cool.
coon. You
A
know what I'm talking about? All
fucking
type.
monkey, anything, but that's cool because we don't have a anti-hate bill for the black people, but the Asians do. You know, the LGBTQGIMTAGMPIMPTOLMNOP, they do.
Fuck, not the Z too,
Man, they do.
dude. You say I should unblock dude, let him come back. It's his time to shine now.
Yeah, this for Bill.
It's his Bill time, Bill. Now you can come in.
Ain't no bill
Hey,
for us though.
nah, not no bill, man. And it's not gonna be. You know what I'm talking about? Because like I told you, man, like they need somebody to like how you was talking about how other countries are able to live superior, and then you have countries that are living in poverty. You know what I mean? Like somebody has to carry the burden, the weight of being at the bottom. Like the systems are designed with people at the top, people in the middle, and people at the bottom. And the people at the bottom are gonna always be the majority, and black people have to stay at the bottom. And the best way to keep people at the bottom is that you make them live in a fantasy world. You make them live things in a false reality. People don't see things as what they really are. You know, people don't see. We don't, man. People, you know how many people listen to music, bro? Like females love trap music. I love a nigga with a pole. You know what I'm talking about? With a pistol. And you know what I'm talking about? Like, I got into it with people on my posts because y'all telling me that a black person ain't never shot up a school. Of course,
We
for
gonna catch you
one,
outside the school.
the hoodest nigga is not even at
Man,
school, bro.
you got
He
shot
on the
before
block,
school.
bro.
You got shot
Why
at the
would
bus
he
stop.
listen? The hoodest nigga was like, nigga, you was at school.
Bruh,
Man,
Lil
what? We
Tony
all
got
this
shot
money
at the
out
bus
here.
stop. You hear me?
Man, all this money out here.
Lil Tony
You
got
know what
shot
I'm
on the
saying?
way home from school.
And my thing was that people didn't
Shit.
understand that they wanted to say, oh, those are two different things. You know, these people are deliberately, you know what I'm talking about, going to kill
Which it is,
people.
it's terrorism.
It's terrorism, but it's still terrorism in the black neighborhood because, like, even if he accidentally kill a baby, you still can't go tell that mama that that was on accident.
And the only reason and the difference is where it don't parallel is the fact that's terrorism is in the fact that you go in there intentionally killing people that have done nothing to you, intentionally killing innocent people. The other one is you accidentally killed the innocent person, but you was allegedly trying to get to your op.
Who look just like you.
Yeah, but it wasn't targeted it wasn't deliberately targeted to kill mass. So that's where it differed. But I get where you drew the parallel though.
I mean, yeah, I get what they saying, but my whole thing was that you didn't even have to compare them. You know what I'm talking about? Like you didn't have to say,
Yeah.
you don't have to compare the worst black person to the worst white person. You know what I'm talking about? To say that white people are the worst at killing people throughout time. You know what I'm talking about? Like they have destroyed more people's lives than any other race of people on this planet. You didn't have to even bring up, man. Shit, I don't, even the hoodest nigga ain't gonna shoot up a school, bro. He'll shoot up the party where your kids will go to school. It's still people who go to school at this party. It's the same fucking thing. Man, what you
Reckless.
say, nigga? Bah, 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 bah. Ain't hit
Ain't
nobody.
been in no target practice.
Man, I'm talking about ain't been to nobody.
Ain't been to the gunning range. You hear me though?
Ain't been to nobody gun range, but we will overlook it and say
what Soldier
that,
Boy say, bruh? What Soldier Boy say on this interview?
Listen, and then I'm mad that people still want to talk about the school shooting, and then you want to ignore all the black people that was just killed. Like y'all want to talk about what this white person did versus what a black person wouldn't do, but you not. And then the dude wasn't even white; he was Hispanic. You know what I'm talking about? Or he was.
And I fuck with Kevin. How he was like, I didn't. You right? You know, I fuck with that. He was dude when I was like, you think his head hurt about the other shit?
Man, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? At least he was able to recognize that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it wasn't no resistance. He was like, I see what you saying.
I see what you're saying. You right, bro.
I tweet.
You know what I'm talking about? I tweet, man. I definitely dropped the ball. You know what I'm talking about? Because like they done got glossed over, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Like them
I
black
can respect
people,
somebody like that any day.
Can't nobody come on here right now. I cash app you $5 if somebody can come on here right now. And I ain't gonna say that because y'all go just Google it. But and tell me one name of one of the people who got killed from Buffalo. I bet you people can't even name.
Hey, tell them they got 30 seconds. Drop it in the comment. They ain't that fast.
Man, they can't even name the dude
who did it,
who shot the people there, bro, because they glossed it over, man, and they glossed all that shit over because of how insignificant black lives actually mean to the world. You know what I'm talking about? Like it don't mean nothing. It's no because you have one side of people. I hope they do. You know what I'm talking about? Because you have one side of people who look at it like, shit, they kill themselves. You know what I'm talking about? Like we can't even recognize that if we was able to stop doing that, because like that's where we got to start at first. You know what I'm talking about? Like in order for us to even be able to be united and do anything in life, we would have to stop doing that because we the only race of people who do that. You know what I'm talking about? Like even though people are killed by the same color as them, more than likely, black people are still the only people who are promoting, man, my ops. These niggas finna get slid on as soon as I pop. Nigga,
hey, you want to know something crazy, bro?
Then you get shot. That was
you want to know something crazy?
That was a bar.
You want to know something crazy, bro?
What's up?
I think the other day. You? Yeah, besides me.
All right.
The other day, I was trying to find out about the Buffalo shooting. Did you know if you Googled the Buffalo shooting, that you know how they got different articles that come up? You can just Google Buffalo shooting, and you can scroll, and his name is nowhere in the nothing can see. You know how you should be able to see a majority of everything. His name is nowhere in none of those headlines.
I can see it. You know what I'm talking about? Because it don't fit the agenda. And then like another thing, like you have,
because they want to tell us racism don't exist, so that don't fit the agenda to post that.
You see how that
like how we gonna tell y'all racism don't exist and that y'all tweaking, and then we gonna put this on the news for y'all and tell y'all that it was hate.
Earlier on that girl post, man, I had to cuss that bitch
what?
out. Like, man, she on there talking about, man, it was massive. Slavery wasn't even as big as. Are you not looking at these pictures, bro? Are you not looking at your ancestors having a fucking party, hanging people?
And she telling us it's a myth.
They got kids out here. I don't give a fuck if it was 5 people they hung. They still had 5,000. She
told us slavery was basically blown out of proportion. Slavery and the impact is blown out of proportion.
And that the Democrats use it to keep us a victim mindset. So, because for one, bitch, you talking to somebody, I'll never be no victim once I understood that I'm not one. You know what I'm talking about? Like I can never have a victim mindset, but I'm still gonna fucking recognize the reality of what the fuck
and try to liberate my people.
And what the fuck people are doing. Oh man, here we go. Bro, listen, we never said that. For one, we never said that slavery was not all over North America. That wasn't
slavery.
That wasn't
Slaves
even
went
the topic.
everywhere.
That wasn't even the topic because at the time, like that wasn't what we was talking about. Like, and I hate when people do that. Like when people try to come in and like correct you about something we wasn't even talking about. You know what I'm talking about? Like, regardless if slavery was all over North America or wasn't all over North America, what we was talking about, the slavery happened. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it actually existed. It was a thing that happened. And we know that there were other people in other countries that were enslaved. We not from them countries. We not them other people. We talking about us. We talking about the people in America that was enslaved, regardless of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already understand that people was enslaved all over the world.
Even in Africa.
Even in Africa. We understand
before the Atlantic slave trade, we understand that black people was enslaved in Africa, white people was enslaved in Africa. We know white people were slaves in Africa at a point from other white people that like we know all this. We know there was black and white slaves and all that. But we talking about the Atlantic slave trade and the impact it got on us today from the niggas at the bottom of the boat and the Jim Crow laws and segregation, and that was a number about 56 years ago, fella.
Bro, for you to say that it didn't happen, but every nigga wasn't a slave, bro, every single nigga was treated like one, regardless if he was or he wasn't. You know what I'm talking about? Like, even if he wasn't a slave, even if his family members wasn't a slave, he still was treated like one if he went to certain places in the world. You could talk about you free. They could take them papers from you and rip them motherfuckers up and hang you from a tree, bro. Like, this is a reality. Like, we ain't trying to sit here and sugarcoat nothing. We ain't sitting here trying to downplay nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to prove.
Coddle it, make it sound good.
We're not trying to prove that this happened and that happened. Bro, we know all this stuff happened to everybody. But we only could talk about our people, though, bro, because them the ones who we closest related to, man. You know? But like I said, man, I think that if people, you know, pay more attention to the things that we doing amongst ourselves, man, because like how the man said, everybody wasn't a slave, but every single black person then they got a slave mentality right now. You know what I'm talking about? Slavery was a choice. Man, who is this? Who is your man's? So you telling me that people chose to be slaves? Cause I was finna wrap the show
not
up.
sign up sheets. Say this is the time you relax and let loose, bro.
Man, I was finna wrap the show up. You know what I'm talking about? But now I'm finna wrap you up, man. Hey, listen to this, Romel Giddens. For you to sit here and say slavery was a choice, right? So you telling me that people signed up to be slaves, that they was like,
it was
man,
an application.
You could beat me. You could beat me.
Yeah, see, we all got a slave man.
Cause see how you're trying to say that slavery was a choice. How you trying to say that slavery was a choice is under the guise that people didn't have to be slaves. Yeah, they could have died. Some people didn't want to die, bro. People didn't want to die behind fighting for their freedom.
Strength is in numbers, bro. Whether you want to believe that or not, strength is in numbers. Me and Racine can't change shit
at all.
We can't change shit. We need all y'all.
I can sit here and
bro.
Talk to you people about everything, man. And it's
voting don't do
choice.
nothing. You can vote at the local level, but it does nothing at the level that actually voting does nothing at the level that moves things for this nation. Like you can vote your local people in, but like I said, when you vote for these presidents and all this, you just picking between they guys. Which one of our bros you want to represent y'all? Which one of our bros you think cooler?
Man, we know you still have your
my nigga Dom say let him on. Yeah, eat him up.
Man, I really don't even want to even go into the dude. I mean, I could do it myself, but I was trying to wrap the show up. You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't want to keep people on here forever and stuff. We already been on here an hour, and I just like to keep things short. But listen to this, Romel. Like wherever you think that people was choosing to be slavery because they didn't have to be slaves, you have to understand that everybody didn't have intelligence, bro. You know what I'm talking about? It's people right now who aren't even intelligent enough to know that they enslaved right now. People don't even see that we slaves right now. We enslaved to a system because we operate in a system that was never designed with us in mind. It wasn't built for us. It was built for white people. It was made for other people to be able to make it function so that it can benefit white people. That's slavery, bro. Somebody has to be the servant in it. For you to sit here and say slavery was a choice, bro, like you saying it in the sense like motherfuckers wanted to be beaten, like motherfuckers didn't want to fight the system. But what I'm gonna fight and lose my life for if everybody not gonna do it? So if everybody doesn't do it as a whole, then it's defeating the purpose, bro. I can't be like, man, I ain't finna be no slave. I'm just gonna die. And you know what that's gonna do? Deter somebody else from bucking the system. But if everybody stood up at the same time, then it would be different. So
it's like Latrice told me. It's like Latrice told me that she talking about like so why didn't they fight back? I'm like, you must not know history, because of course you must not know about the numerous of slaves that revolted and fought back and all that. Like that was kind of ignorant for you to insinuate that.
People fought back, but you know what they did? They hunted them down. People ran away. They killed them.
Strength is in numbers.
Why you think Harriet Tubman had to kill people who?
Hey, only half the people probably thought that they should be free because of the conditioning.
Because of the conditioning.
So that ain't strength in numbers. If
you have to understand that some people was born into slavery thinking that they supposed to be slaves, bro.
Which was deliberate.
They thought that's who they
erasing
was.
the history, erasing the history, not knowing who you was.
They thought that this is who they was.
So
Bro.
say I was born to slavery, I assume this how it's always been forever.
Because this is the life.
It's just like I see animals and we control animals. Shit, my skin shit is just less superior to the white skin. That's just how shit is.
That's just how it is.
We like cattle.
I think that you, my man who said that he thinks slavery was a choice, I think you should really do some more research on your information and stuff, man. Just so you'll have a better
if you think you do got a point, you didn't get that point across with those very few words.
No, you didn't. And I understood, and I know where your point was coming from.
I'm pretty sure I know where you think you,
but
you didn't get that across just like that. You ain't Kanye.
It can't come across like that because it would have to be as a whole. So if the majority of the people aren't ready to buck the system, then I don't have a choice, bro. It's just like this. If I go vote,
a choice within the choice,
and everybody else outvotes me, then I technically don't have a choice, bro, but to accept what they voted for. I don't have a choice I don't want Joe Biden to be the president. I want Donald Trump to be the president. You see how them white people was ready to take their choice? They was feeling like their choice was being stolen from them, and they was ready to stick together and buck the system.
He learned
Black
from
people
rappers.
wasn't ready.
His teachers is rappers.
Okay, yeah, man. Well, on that note, man, you know,
his teachers entertainers.
Yeah, he said
Yeezy
funny. Taught him, but Yeezy believed in Jesus and you know what I'm talking about, all those different mythical people and stuff, man. So
married to the
we're
white
gonna
girl.
wrap this show up, man, and you know what I'm talking about. And we appreciate everybody tuning in and stuff, man. Make sure y'all get out there, do your research, man. Study the Berlin Conference, man. Keep up, man. Send your condolences to the people of Buffalo, to the kids and family members who lost their kids in Texas and stuff, man. Our condolences to those people, to everybody who tuning in, man. Make sure y'all share the live. And we appreciate y'all tuning in, man. And we out.
That's a good question. So the answer is no, and here's why.